Okay, grade 9, I hope that you are doing well. In this topic, we have started talking about the Chinese civilization. We started by the Qin Dynasty that was created by this man, Li Huagandi. Li Huagandi, he was a very strict ruler, and he was the first man to unite all of China under one control and one empire. He was titled the first emperor of Qin, or the first emperor of China. Unfortunately, this man followed the legalism thoughts and ideas and also rule because he thought that the legalism system was best suited for his empire. Later on, we spoke about Shi Huagandi, the first emperor of China. We spoke also about Lu Pang, the one who created the Han Dynasty. He was a literate peasant who had enough from the Qin Dynasty because of the rules they practiced and also the heavy taxes they made the people pay. All of that led Lu Pang to create a rebellion against the Qin Dynasty. Later on, we spoke also about one of the most important emperors in the Han Dynasty, who was called Wudi. Wudi was also named a warrior emperor because he didn't just protect China against the nomad people beyond the walls, but he also started to push them beyond the walls. Monopoly and expansionism and civil servants, we have already spoken about all of this during the Han Dynasty and how they applied the Confucian ideas and rules. The link I sent for Khan Academy, guys, you can just go to the link and create your own accounts on Khan Academy so that we can practice more and more on our topic and also other topics like mathematics and science. You will find it amusing on Khan Academy, and we will discuss that tomorrow in the advocacy session. So back again to the civil servants. Civil servants and warlords during the Han Dynasty. Everyone was supposed to do their best in the country, and those who made a good contribution in the country also were rewarded very much. Even if you were a peasant and you had the ability to do something good, you will change your own rank and your family's rank and even the whole tribe you came from. The warlords, after about 400 years of stability during the Han Dynasty, right? Unfortunately, the Han Dynasty became an aging dynasty, and by becoming so aging dynasty, warlords started to have control of their provenance beyond the emperor, and that led to the decline of the Han Academy. The impact of Han on China. Okay, Abdurrahman.
Yes, teacher.
Can we please?
Okay, impact of Han China. Han rulers forked a vast and varied land into a united China. They created an empire roughly the size of the continental United States and set up patterns of government based on Confucian ideas that would survive for 2,000 years. Han China civilizations shaped the Western world. Confucian. What?
You missed the line. Han China deeply.
Han China deeply influenced East Asia, just as Greek and Roman civilizations shaped the Western world. Confucian ethics spread across most of East Asia and dominated Chinese government and culture.
Alright, so simply, guys, the Han they had a wide and vast impact upon the Chinese civilization. Because back then in the Han Dynasty, everyone was treated equally, and those who had or held power to change were treated more even better and better. So the people in the Han Dynasty started to treat them very well. Besides, by living in a good community, by living in a good empire, gaining your rights and knowing the duties you must apply to, all of this had a wide impact on the people. So the people now knew their rights and their duties, and by knowing that, they were able to know their position and their rank in the society. And they even had the methods to change their rank in the society. Continue, Abdurrahman, please.
Again and again, China would break up and be painfully reassembled. Still, on the whole, Chinese civilization flourished in a united land. After periods of disunity, a new dynasty would turn to Confucian scholars to revive the days of Han greatness.
So simply, now after the Han dynasty became an aging dynasty, so the warlords that we have spoken about, okay, the warlords took control of parts of China. So once again, China became divided, not united. And because of this, now it was some sort of troubling and bad thing for the Chinese people. But overall, in general, okay, the Chinese people held their culture and their social features that they had inherited from the Han Dynasty, and they kept those features inside themselves until later on a new dynasty will come in order to unite them once again. As you can see here in this, so this was China, okay, after the Han dynasty started to decline. So all of these provinces were ruled and controlled by warlords. These warlords were separately holding China and maintaining their own features. But after the Han declined, another dynasty will come that will start to shape the new dynasty and shape China once again into one united nation. All right, the next point today is about the Han Golden Age. Abdullah Farayan, hello. Abdullah Abdurrahman, no, Ahmad Al-Wadi, Ali Al-Madi, Azam. Okay, no
Yes,
problem.
yes, I'm Ahmed.
Hello, Ahmed. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you, Tit?
I'm doing great, thank you. Can you please read the Han Golden Age?
Okay.
It's on the screen, Ahmed. You can read. Go
Okay.
ahead.
The Han Golden Age. Han rulers left their stamp on all areas of Chinese life. Han China made such tremendous advances in so many fields that the Chinese later called themselves the people of Han. Han China lasted for over 400 years. Its rulers presided over a golden age in government technology, and arts.
Alright, so simply, guys, we are speaking about how the Han rulers have left their own stamp. Stamp here means a print, like a fingerprint, on all the Chinese life perspective and the aspects of life for the Chinese people themselves. Because this dynasty lasted for over 400 years and of flourishment and of also uh, development. Okay, and as I told you, it was just a just dynasty, a very fair dynasty. If you are doing something good, you will be rewarded for it. So the people loved those rulers very much, even when they are trying to speak in honor or pride, they will name themselves the people of Han, because the Han dynasty started to establish their own characteristics. The first aspect of the Golden Age is speaking about science and medicine. Ryan, do you have a mic? Mshari, Al-Humaydan, Suelam, Saud Sufyan, Tawibi. Does anyone have a mic except for Abdurrahman and Ahmed?
Teacher, you call me?
Okay, Ahmed.
Yes.
Okay, Ahmed, continue reading about advances in
Okay.
science and medicine.
Advances in science and medicine. Advances in technology. The arts flourish.
No, from the book, Ahmed, page 94.
Okay. Advances in science and medicine. Han scientists wrote texts on chemistry, zoology, botany, and other subjects. Han astron- astronomers astronomers yes improved earlier calendars and invented better timekeeping devices. A Chinese scientist invented a simple seismograph to detect and measure earthquakes. The scientist Wang Chong disagreed with the widely held belief that comets and eclipses showed heaven's anger. On the average, is one moon there is one
Yes.
moon eclipse about every 180 days, he wrote, and a solar eclipse about every 41 or 42-month eclipses are not caused by political action. Wang Chung argued that theories should only be accepted if they could be proved by scientists' evidence. Chinese physicians the diagnosed diseases, developed anesthetics, and experim- experimented with herbal remedies and other drugs. Many promoted the use of acupuncture. Acupuncture.
Acupuncture.
What?
Acupuncture.
Acupuncture. And this medical treatment developed thousands of years ago. Years ago. The doctor inserts needles into the skin at specific points to relieve pain or treat virus illnesses.
Okay, thank you very much, Ahmed. All right, so in this area, we are speaking about the science and medicine that was developed in the Han Dynasty. Of course, as you know, guys, the need develops creation and inventions. The need develops creation and inventions. If you are in a total need of something, you will start to adapt something else in order to solve it. Like when you are feeling so hot, you will adapt the fan, the air conditioner. You will start to make something in order to overcome this heatness. So this is exactly what happened thousands of years ago, and it's still happening today, actually. Okay, so first of all, the Han Dynasty, as we have discussed, they were very developed dynasty. One of the best things they have adapted is a device called seismograph. Seismograph. The seismograph. This is its photo. Okay, seismograph, a very simple one. Okay, a very simple machine that a man called Zhang Hin developed it. Right, in order to detect and measure the earthquakes, because you know that the Chinese land is upon an area of the land that suffered a lot from earthquake. So they adapted this device in order to try to detect the uh, the earthquakes that may happen. And also these dragons, they hold small poles here. These poles they have, once they drop here, so the earthquake will become from this direction or from that direction or this direction or even that direction. So seismograph was a very sensitive device that enabled people in the Han Dynasty to know about the earthquakes. Later on, also, some scientists started to adapt ways about how to calculate days in the year, and also they knew about eclipse. Because back then they thought that eclipse was a bad omen, like a bad thing. When the gods are angry, they will just make an eclipse. But of course, when they have studied the problem, they knew that there is an eclipse for the moon every approximately 180 days, and for that of the sun for 41 or 42 months, there is at least one eclipse. Later on, they started also to develop the medicine and how to treat people from illnesses that may spread. One of the most common ways of treatment and still used up till our day is acupuncture, which is inserting some needles in specific places in your body. This will relieve the pain and try to convince the body to fight back the viruses and the illnesses. It's very famous nowadays, actually, and it has proven its efficiency so far. So you just enter and they start inserting needles into your body. That's very scary, actually. Okay, the second point is the advances in technology. Abdurrahman.
Yes, teacher.
Can you read it?
Advance, yes, advances in technology. At the time, Han China was the most technologically advanced civilization in the world. Kai Lun, an official in the Han court, invented a method for making paper out of wood pulp. His basic method is still used to manufacture paper today. The Chinese made advances in methods of shipbuilding and invented the rudder to steer. Other practical inventions, including fishing reels, wheelbarrows, and suspension bridges. The Chinese invented the water-powered trip hammer, a huge, heavy device used to pound ores and grains. Some of these ideas moved westward slowly, reaching Europe hundreds of years later.
So simply, the Chinese people also tried to adapt some technological methods in order to help them in their daily life, including how to change wood into paper. And this method is still used nowadays, actually. Right? Simply you bring the wood and start peeling it layer by layer, and then put some chemicals on it, and changing it into uh, paper. The artist worship also. The artists also flourished in the Han Dynasty. The walled cities of Han China boasted spindle temples and also palaces set in elegant parks. Although these wooden buildings have not survived, have poets and historians have described their grandeur. Artisans produced delicate jade and ivory carving and fine ceramic features. Bronze workers and silk makers improved on earlier techniques and set high standards for future generations. So, simply, guys, it's very easy because now you are developed, you are advanced, you acquire more knowledge, all of this, and also you are flourished, so you have enough money. All of these features will help you in order to become so artistic. So you will not just live in a very simple house, no, you will live in a very elegant one, a very furnitured one, a very nice one also. Much of our knowledge about Han China comes from a massive history. The book called Records of the Great Grand Historian, written about 100 BC, its author is named Sima Qian, is sometimes called the father of Chinese history. This man has wrote about all of the Chinese history at different eras. Sima Qian also, his work covers more than 2,000 years of the Chinese history, from China's legendary origins through the region of Emperor Wu. And the most important period, as mentioned before, was the period of the Emperor Wu, which we called the Warrior Emperor. Around 180, Pan Diao wrote Lessons for Women, an influential handbook of behavior. In it, she carefully spells out the proper behavior for women and also men, while Pandiu did argue in favor of equal education for boys and girls. She stressed that women should be obedient, respectful, and submissive. Let a woman modestly yell to others, she advises. Let her respect others. So, simply, all of these aspects in the Chinese civilization led to the change in their ways of life and also how it affected them later on. So, for the last time, the Han Dynasty was one of the most important dynasties that shaped the Chinese civilization and had a greater impact on their life.
The Han Dynasty began in 206 BC when a man named Liu Bang, who had been born a peasant, led a group of generals to overthrow the Qin Dynasty. This started a 400-year period of prosperity, sometimes referred to as China's first golden age. The capital of the dynasty was at Chang'an, and at the time it was one of the biggest cities in the world. The Han Dynasty saw massive territorial expansion, with China's area almost doubling. The Han defeated the tribes to the north and signed treaties with the clans to the west. This made travel safer and led to the establishment of what became known as the Silk Road. This was the trade route connecting China with the Roman Empire, thousands of miles away in Europe. The Han also saw massive cultural developments, with Confucianism, which had been suppressed under the Qin, rising to become the state philosophy of China's aristocracy. Officials were evaluated on their conduct according to the Confucian values, and an imperial university was established to train them. It was also during the Han period that Buddhism spread to China from India. Buddhism's emphasis on compassion and universal salvation appealed to the masses. Along with Confucianism and Taoism, Buddhism became one of China's three main religions that would dominate the faith of the Chinese people for the next 2,000 years. The Han Dynasty gave rise to some of China's most well-known historical figures, such as Sima Qian, who wrote the record of the Grand Historian, the definitive record of China's early history, and also Han Xin, the general who helped Liu Ban establish the Han Dynasty. The Han Dynasty was briefly interrupted in the year 9 AD, when a nephew of the empress, Wang Mang, seized the throne. 14 years later, Liu Xiu, a descendant of Liu Bang, eventually toppled him, and the Han Dynasty, with 12 more emperors, continued for another 200 years. But like all dynasties in Chinese history, the Han could not last forever. It officially ended in the year 220 AD. Trouble at court and uprisings across the empire led to its eventual downfall. The warlord Dong Zhuo led troops into the capital, kick-starting the battles between various warlords. Eventually, Cao Cao managed to establish the Wei state north of the Yangtze River. Sun Quan established the Wu state to the south of the Yangtze, and Liu Bei the Shu state in the west, starting the period known as the Three Kingdoms. The faith of the Chinese people.
So simply grade 9. Okay, after having 400 years of flourishment and development, the Chinese people started to become divided once again after the Han Dynasty, after facing what is known as the first golden age of the Chinese civilization. Any questions so far?
No, thank you.
All right, just be reminded that Buddhism was one of the main religions during the Han Dynasty, and it spread vividly during that dynasty. Okay?
Okay.